that America had to be dragged into the war. They don't know that FDR was giving aid to England surreptitiously because the United States Congress would not go along with it. They were having rallies in Madison Square Garden in New York City. Charles Lindbergh, our great aviator hero, pro-Nazi, pro-Hitler, and so on. Roosevelt had to combat all of that. Barack Obama has a lot to combat, but he's a young man. He is very intelligent. He's dynamic. He's got a wonderful wife. He surrounded himself with great people, and I'm expecting a lot of wonderful things in the next 8 years of this administration.
Good. I like how you predicted 8 years. I like that one.
Well,
that was good,
Dr.
Wecht. That was good.
That's right. There's no question.
Well, that was good. Yeah. But I do have a question for you. I'm going to start off my round of questioning. And I have to read this. I hate to do that because I have astigmatism, but we'll get to that later. Okay.
I can't offer you my glasses. Then.
No, probably I'd be even worse, but that's all right. It says, Dr. Wecht, President-elect Barack Obama has said he will make changes in our nation that includes health care at least as good as his colleagues in Congress before he was elected president. So at least as good as what his colleagues received, and thus make sure that all Americans will have access to basic health care. Do you believe Congress will pass such a bill? And what should the American people do to help President-elect Barack Obama bring some kind of safety net of health care for all Americans?
I strongly endorse that stance. I think that it is a travesty. It is a source of great shame to me as a physician, as an American, talking to people abroad, to see that there are 47 million Americans who do not have health insurance, that there are people who are not able to obtain basic medical care sometimes. I think his statement that he wants Americans to have the quality of care that United States senators and congressmen have. That's beautiful. What a fantastic way. You see, that is diplomacy and tact, and what senator or congressman can now come out and say, oh no, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, my constituents, they don't deserve the same kind of medical care that I receive, right?
Yes,
Nobody's going to say that, right? And so on. So I'm all in favor. Do I think it's going to pass? Well, let's keep in mind this. Once this quagmire, this controversy is finished, and it will soon be, with Senator Buress from Illinois and Senator Franken from Minnesota, and so on. So he will have a majority, I think, of 68, or is it 69 even? So 68 to 32 is a very big majority. And there aren't going to be too many Democrats, I think, who will want to buck him. And there may even be a couple of Republicans, including our own Arlen Specter, who are more moderate, not among the right-wing Republicans who will go along with some of these plans. The point being that I think with good congressional leaders and a solid program and White House chats and a little arm twisting and some luncheons here and there and so on, I think that he can achieve most of his goals. I don't think they're all going to fall in place, maybe as quickly as we and as he might like to see them occur, but I think he will achieve them. I do believe that healthcare is a major issue, and I believe that something must be done in order to improve. There's no reason why we should not have good medical care. One more comment. You see people out there saying, well, what do you mean we have great medical care? Do you know that when it comes to things like maternal mortality and infant mortality, that we are not even among the top 10?
I believe
and if you list some of the countries that are ahead of us, you would be shocked. And your callers would be buzzing you on the phone saying, you know what you're talking about. Some of the countries, I'm not talking about some of the countries, well, you're sure Scandinavia and maybe some of the Western European countries. There are other countries around the world that have a lower incidence of these significant criteria by which health is evaluated than we do. And that is shameful.
Yes. And Dr. Wecht, I want to give you a quick piece of information. I have a friend, Donna Weis, who lives in Homestead, as a matter of fact. So hello to Chris and his family and Donna. And she had been bit by, I believe it was a brown recluse spider about 5 years ago or what have you. And whatever it did, it damaged her skin and many other things to the point where she could not walk and what have you. So recently she had a brace, some kind of a brace kind of rigmarole put on there. And part of the brace or what have you broke. So now as we speak, she was sent to the hospital, I believe it was Saturday. They sent her home Saturday evening, and they have had her lying at home in pain, and she will not get back to the hospital until Thursday. And I believe part of that is due to lack of insurance and insurance companies and HMOs not wanting to pay. So when we hear we need health care, and yourself, and myself, Linnell, and Annette, and all of us agree, sometimes people don't put a face on it. Well, for those of the Americans, my fellow Americans out there who do not believe we need health care, think of Donna Weis. Think about the fact that right now she's in pain. And I do want to get to the call. I do want to get to our little PSA, but I want to make a point. The reason why, one of the other additional reasons why Donna Weis is in pain is her mother has a brain ailment. I don't want to say what it is. I don't believe that's my right to say. However, because of it, Donna is sacrificing taking the pain pill because she's afraid that if she falls asleep, her mother will fall and get hurt. Her mother has been in and out of the hospital with very serious injuries in the last year. So she is sacrificing for the love of her mother and enduring this extra pain. Wow. But what angers me is that Donna Weiss's doctor actually said to her, go home, yada, yada, yada. And she will not be going to get this addressed until Thursday. And 10-to-1 odds say that it is because of the inaccessibility of medical health care. So for those people who are against a kind of health care protection, you might want to think about Donna Weis, Chris Weis, and people like them, and even myself, because I have a disability. So my health care is not that great. I've been turned down for certain particular medicines because it didn't fall into the HMO system. So this is a very serious problem, but it's also a very costly problem. And that's pretty much my comment on that. When we come back, Mr. Jones will have another question after the call. I want you to answer the call. Okay. And then, well, after we come back, we'll answer the caller. Then Mr. Jones will have another question for Dr. Wecht, and then I will proceed to ask a very strange question. So be ready for it. But now we want to go to this other live PSA. So we'll do that. And Mr. Linnell, when you're ready, I will do my little spiel, and then you'll come in. So even though we're not fading to black, audience, this is a little bit of a personal kind of PSA kind of thing. I'm going to quickly do it.